Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a fresh week in Jasiri land. And yes, I'm still here hanging out with these lovely, lovely ladies. It's Catch Up Monday, okay? And I can't wait to catch up. So let's find out all the exciting things that we've been up to this weekend. How was your weekend, Blessings?
Exciting actually.
Okay.
I almost forgot. What? I don't know why I always forget what. No,
when we say weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Did you do anything Saturday, Sunday?
Yes, I did actually.
On Saturday? I thought it was.
So Friday, Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Sunday
I was at an event Friday, Saturday, and it was I enjoyed myself. Right?
For somebody, this is when I hear Blessings talk about. For somebody who enjoys her space. When you see that she actually goes out, I like it for her. Whether it's work, whether it's... Yeah. But the fact that you go out, and you're always happy when you go out.
I
let you go out. If it's not work.
So it's not like I don't go out, right? I go out a lot, but on my own. Because, of course, I don't have a lot of friends. Right? So I love it when I'm out with people. People don't see me as someone who likes to go out, but I actually do.
Are you introverted?
I am.
Yeah, so that's how it goes with it.
But I do well. So we were hanging out with Catherine and the likes, and I was explaining to them that most times, not like I don't like to come out, but people misunderstand when I come out and I'm not exactly as, vibrant as the rest of them. I like being in the midst of people, but let me just still be myself, right? I just want to be watching you do your thing.
The life of the party.
Yeah, but people are not happy with that. Like, if you're out, be out. Yeah, and that's like the conflict.
Are you okay? Why
exactly. So I like it when I can be myself, but, around people and it's cool.
So how was your weekend?
It was okay. How was yours?
I think it flew by so fast. I don't know how my weekend. I don't.
Were you doing anything? Were you working? Were you working the weekend or just resting?
Well, online, but I knew I was feeling lethargic about doing certain things like grooming. I said, do your hair.
You say grooming. I love that, grooming.
I'm like, why must we feel like I must go to the salon to get my hair?
You were talking about getting your hair done.
Mom, we are waiting for you. I said, I know I'm coming. And I didn't move.
And as we can see, she didn't go.
She didn't move.
Even today. Oh God!
Today.
Oh no! This morning,
just
roll out of bed. Very chaotic.
FYI, Tolu, wherever it is that the breeze has blown you to, I think you should keep extra things
on Mondays
in your office. You know what I mean? Extra things.
We'll talk about that when she gets back. Okay, Annie, how was yours?
It was a good weekend. It was a good weekend. Like you, I'm very introverted. So a good weekend for me can literally be home, cuddled on the couch, great movie, air conditioning on if the power tariffs will allow us. Some premium snackage, a good beer. Do we say beer?
It's too late for that question.
Yeah. Exactly. So I had a good weekend, but it was a sociable weekend. I was doing a lot of socializing, and that takes a lot of energy.
You see that?
No, but you know you were invited. Blessings.
It's olive.
It was work.
Pasta is olive. Wow. Anyways,
there was I.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. It was olive. Okay. Olive is 50%. Then another person is the other 50% that kept me out. Saturday is Sunday.
So it was a good weekend.
It was a great weekend. Great weekend. And so I don't know why this morning we were this.
Now I know why.
No, there's no need. Don't say too much.
Why there was so much chaos this morning. But anyways, ladies, I want to ask a question. Have you ever purchased, say, an outfit or any item that you felt was overpriced? But you still went ahead to buy it?
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what makes us.
Yes. The nails? Yes.
Or which one?
Not the nails. I'm covering my face in shame.
Okay.
Because, so you know when you have like buyer's remorse, so you go and you make the purchase. It's almost like one spirit just holds your sense until you spend that money. Then after it's like,
it's as if the sense comes back after the purchase.
After you've made the purchase,
if we want to be honest with ourselves, we have fallen into that
many times. And we still fall.
They go to the store.
In fact, like that buyer's remorse starts happening for me before I even pay.
Really?
Like once they're bringing, I'm like, wait a minute, am I paying this? There was a day my card declined. I was so happy. I didn't even ask why. I'm like, let's see that. Thank you. All right, bye. Because I didn't understand why I was going to buy what I was going to buy in the first place.
You know what you're saying. Reminding
that
me
I didn't buy it.
You know, sometimes when you go there, you're the point of purchase. And that sense comes back, and you
it never comes back.
It
never comes back for multiple reasons. Sometimes shame, because they don't want you to, they know that you're not going to be able to return items. Or like I said, one spirit just says, you must spend this money, you must spend it.
Okay, so I'm sure people are wondering why I asked that question. Now, I asked that because Noble Igwe, a media personality, criticized the high price of made in Nigeria suits, specifically one that was sold for 4.3 million naira in this economy. Now, he questioned the quality and worth of such expensive clothing and challenged suit makers to prove their value through testing. Now, Igwe also mocked the price tag, comparing it to the cost of pounded yam in Lagos. He further criticized designers for dismissing those who question luxury item prices as unschooled or poor. For better context, let's take a look at his post. Now, he says in Nigeria, once you question the price tag on a luxury quote-unquote piece, the designers will quickly refer to you as unschooled or poor. And this is because someone did not agree to pay 4.3 million naira for a made-in-Nigeria suit. And then he says, maybe I'm poor too. I'm challenging any bold Nigerian-based suit maker willing to submit their 4.3 million naira suit to a fabric, sewing, and factory test. Please tag them. I love that.
Nicole, don't say Nicole. Noble, don't vessel.
The only thing worth that price tag in Lagos is real pounded yam, the one pounded by a man that took 3 buses to get to work after sleeping without power. That's so specific. The night before, yam pounded with hate, sorrow, and salty sweat in a dark, poorly lit kitchen. Slap that price tag on it, Jerry. Wow.
Well, Noble has spoken. Yeah, so you can hear the frustration in his voice.
Seriously.
Yeah.
While I think he has a point about excessive pricing, you know, of made in Nigeria, you know, goods or products or fabrics in this case, one would say to him, my brother, they'll not force you. They'll not force you, buyer. And I understand the burden on celebrities, the burden to perform.
Present a certain way.
Manifest. So you see most, well, some of these celebrities nowadays partner with what they can partner with. That's, you know, we had someone here as a guest who was talking about finding strategic ways of putting yourself out there, partnering when you know you can partner and all that. So, but then again, you know, that has its pros and cons as well. You see a designer tell you, oh, I'd like to partner with you, but I've been burned before. You partner with them, they give you your clothes, their clothes. The time the clothes come back, it's not how it went.
Yeah, so 2 things I would like to say to this. I genuinely agree that some of these things should be put to the test.
Yes.
Yes, and the reason I'm saying that is some people, let's look at the fashion designing world, for example. I'm going to put Vicky James on the spot. Now, we've heard time and time again that she imports even the smallest beads. She takes her time to buy these things, right? Those things they're not just things that you just buy when you go to Lagos Island and then you buy. Now, if you're comparing, if you see I don't know whether her items are overpriced or not, it's not my thing to say, but we see the work that is put into it. We see the excess hours, amount of hours put into it. If another fashion designer says, okay, because Vicky James is doing this, let me start upping my price because me too, I'm good at it. You can see the disparity. You're not putting in so much work. You're not importing some of these things. You're not, you know, there's that, right? So there's the value to it. That's why it might be that pricey, but it has to be as valuable as that. That's one. Then 2, I completely subscribe to what you're saying. In Nigeria especially, we only buy rip. We don't buy the things. Value. That's why you see people pre-ordering iPhone 15.
Yes.
Not because they like it or they even know what it's about.
It's a status symbol.
They want to, exactly. So, and that's the problem with us. Because most times we don't challenge these prices. We only go ahead to buy so that we can tell people, do you know how much I bought it?
I'm one of them. Yeah, I'm one of the people who owns.
So, I think we have some reactions there before we continue the conversation. Let's take a look at the reactions. Now, this one says, how on earth do you charge someone 4.3 million naira for a suit, all in the name of luxury? Some of these Lagos fashion designers are mad, sha. How many times will someone repeat a 4.3 million naira suit? I'd rather buy a 10 million naira foreign-made suit than buy 500k Nigerian-made, quality and quantity. I have a problem with that, but I understand where he's coming from. You people are so dishonest. In this economy, $750 suit is not expensive. I laugh. You all crack me up. There's no way. The average Nigerian cannot earn that in a month. Get off the internet. poverty capital, but onagode yarn dust.
Facts. Facts.
Very true. I just want to apologize to all the suit makers in Nigeria who are used to price rubbish, even when they were charging me 50k naira for a full suit. How I just bought suits, £250 with Black Friday discount plus a beg from someone is still doing me like film trick.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh dear.
I think that's
like something is going on all around the world.
Because the truth is, if you I always tell people, find, like a producer says, pick your struggle. You pick it. There are always good tailors around. If you only stop and search and have the patience to sift through. If somebody makes, we all know that tailors are in the category of carpenters and plumbers and those people that used to mess you, those artisans.
Yes.
But if you find one, you stay there. We are just, I think we are shackled by price. The more expensive, people will tell you, oh, the more expensive your product is, you have to make it expensive so that people can take you seriously.
Yeah.
And then Nigerians will see that, okay, listen, the materials I'm using to make this outfit, it's not even near 2 million. But just because you want to be taken seriously, and it is this person, Noble Igwe, that in your mind, oh my God, you don't know, he's a celebrity, he's an influencer, he's a this, he's a that. Let me up my price. Just, they don't. And then once that goes, it just keeps going. It's a ripple. It just keeps going. If Noble buys this suit now, someone says, how many times can you repeat it? I'm sure you can repeat the suit. It's the shirt and the tie you'll be doing exchange rates with.
I'm going to ask you ladies a question. Has any of you been pressured at any point in time into buying an overpriced piece of anything?
Oh, yes. No, I don't. I just don't. Never. I say not today, Satan, not today.
The only pressure is the self-pressure. So for me, I'm a hair person, right? So I see hair and I'm asking myself,
do I need this?
What will I look like without this hair in my life? So I'm literally pressuring. The pressure only comes from within, to be honest.
And once you find a way, I think, towing the line of what Blessing said, once you find a way to work your pressure or to deal with your pressure and to justify it and see a way that actually you can do this, if you tighten this and tighten that, it's something you can get, then you can decide to get it because you know that you have a plan. And if you get it, you can work with it, you can pay.
Yeah, but you can't, you can't take away the fact that there's an angle of like keeping up with the Joneses.
Yes.
Where people feel like, I have to do this because other people are doing it. And I think it's from the side of the consumer and the service provider. So the tailors are doing it because, like you say, the Vicky Jameses and Coles are doing that. And then you, my colleagues are wearing this. I have to show up at this event. I can't look the same way twice.
So it's pressure on both sides. For the tag. You might not even know what you're wearing.
Yes.
There are very good tailors in some maybe they are the Tangwa side of. There's so many. In fact, you can just find a diamond in the rough somewhere where you least expect it. I think we put that pressure on us because, oh, this person is wearing this, therefore. Nobody comes and flips your collar and say, I want to see what you're wearing.
So I wouldn't lie. I feel like there's this unspoken rule, especially for celebrities. Oh, you can't repeat outfits, you know, what would people think about you, you know, and things like that. I remember, was it 3 or 4 days ago, I was talking about the price of fuel and what my budget has been just to get fuel. And I'm thinking, I'm like, I miss BRT buses. Like, I still have the card once in a while. And someone is like, why do you want to take a bit? I'm like, number one, I don't have to drive. Number two, it's comfortable. And I get to my destination, don't I? You know, so most times, right, it takes a personal self-awareness, you know, kind of push to get you to say, you know what, nobody's pressuring me into doing this. I don't have to drive
do what I don't want to do.
You know, so again, it boils down to personal pressure.
All right, guys, so we'll take a short break out, but don't go anywhere because this is Catch Up Monday on Jasiri. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Jasiri, and we're streaming live on our social media platforms. We're at News Central TV. Join the conversation by using the hashtag Jasiri. So we've been following the conversation around the planned protest on the 1st of August, and it seems like the frustration and the grievances of Nigerians are boiling over. Some individuals aren't waiting for the proposed date and have taken to solo protests. We see a young man in Abuja. He was holding a flag that read, "Hunger Day, we must protest." So it's not something of, he has taken to the streets earlier than that. And I think it's just, This is a clear depiction of what is going on right now.
Done.
Whether it's in Lagos, whether it's in Abuja, whether it's in Lokoja, wherever it is that you are, there is hunger in the land. And
it's not even like, you're not paraphrasing, it's not an exaggeration.
No.
People are literally hungry. It's not a metaphor anymore.
Yeah, I mean...
And I noticed that, aside being hungry, they are now angry.
Yeah.
And what is fueling this anger is the fact that it's like everything, the government, the country, everything is doing everything they can to make sure that there is no protest.
Yeah.
And that's what is fueling their anger.
Yeah.
Like, you're coming up with Oro Festival from 1st to 15th.
For the exact date of the protest?
And now we're seeing, I don't know where this feels scarcity. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist.
Just jumped up out of nowhere.
A lot of things. Look at telcos. We're talking about it recently.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. It feels like lines are just being barred or taken off of the grid at random. I haven't been able to use any data on the telco I use. I'm sure I can't mention it on air, but it's not just me. The taxi that I was in this morning, he has the same problem. I've talked to 3 other people, the same thing. They just can't use their lines for whatever reason.
Everything is just happening and it's pointing to us. I think also that's why you said it's the anger that has now doused or has complemented the hunger and the drive to protest. And listen, this young man is not alone in this. Very dark man, a controversial activist, has also staged his own protest in Abuja, shirtless and holding a placard that reads, Emilio Khan, is it your turn to suffer us? Take a look. This is very dark one. Is it your turn to suffer us, Mr. President? Do we even have a... Tinubu, we have learned the hard way. Pity us, sir, we are suffering. Now, you see, you see this thing now. People are saying we could have waited for the August 1 protest, but I want to go street, but I don't know if...
No, please go street. Go street.
If shit, they catch you, you understand? You will not wait on the
plan it.
My dear, you will find a restroom.
You say no by 6 p.m.
I'm going to go to the loo. This thing is catching, is how it is doing you. And this is, like we said, this is the state of every Nigerian.
Yeah.
And then our brothers and sisters who have jackpot are sitting down and are laughing. So you see why we jackpot.
They're not laughing. It's affecting them because now they have to send more money
to their people.
But at least they have respite because
yes,
they're not in the they're not facing this, and it kind of justifies their reason for leaving.
Of course it does.
Of course, on the other hand, they're under pressure to send family money.
To send more money down. There is some sort of almost global recession happening because the economy is affected globally. Yeah. Everyone is complaining. Prices of rent, prices of living, it's all gone up.
Yeah.
But you see, here in Nigeria, we have a very specific problem. Everything is happening to us at the same time. People don't have any room to breathe. They don't have any room to breathe.
We always say that, we always have a way to adapt. I think that way is running out.
Just when you say that it can't get worse.
Something happens.
Catherine, I remember when I said I don't think we can go, I think backer than this. We can go backer than this.
Listen, Nigeria will show you that if we will dig to the earth's core, we can't go deep enough. And it's sad.
People have asked, okay, should Very Dark Man have waited? Should that guy have waited? Listen.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. I feel like they say, when you're the one wearing the shoe, you know where it's hurting you. And there aren't any laws against peaceful protesting. So he might be protesting for his own personal reasons. It doesn't mean he's not going to join the August 1st.
It's how he feels. Listen, you cannot, unless you wear somebody's shoes. There are families who don't eat 3 square meals anymore. There are families who eat half of what they used to eat. Someone told me on the street, I heard it on the street, and said, madam, person not they chop to belly full nowadays. You just chop, make something day your belly. And the way the woman said it, like she has accepted it. So imagine, and we're living, this is a holiday period. Schools are closed, so children are at home. They're eating more. You give a child a portion of food, the child says,
I'm still hungry.
Eats and says, I'm still hungry.
You can't tell the child that the economy is like, what's the child's business? And I genuinely still think, I think that it's the approach that the government is taking. You know, we've talked about approach and communication over and over again.
It's very important.
If this protest was announced and nobody was trying to oppose it. Nobody was trying to say, no, don't protest.
Stop it from happening.
I feel like maybe eventually they would have maybe had an agreement, okay, you know, we'll do this to alleviate the poverty in the land and all. But the fact that they keep begging us not to protest.
Well, they're not even begging. They're just trying to make sure that it stops.
Yes, so it makes it look as though that means there's no plan in sight to make anything better. So it makes people more scared. Because at first, the thought would have been that, okay, once we protest, you know, we come to an agreement, okay, we do this, you reduce the price of this, you know, you cut down price of this and that. But now it's like, you don't want this protest to happen. It means that there is no solution in sight, which is more scary.
And then you're trying to emasculate and trying to shut people up. It's like, see, finish. What do you understand? What do you mean by you're trying to tell us not to protest? Have more. You're not even giving us something to hold on to.
Yeah.
And you're taking and making it seem as if we are the ones, or you are so above us that you are untouchable, and that whatever we do, in fact, you're disconnected from the citizens.
So, you know, there were a couple of reactions to VDM and a few people coming out. Some people are saying it's eye service. There's a guy on Twitter, Daniel Wega, he says, anyone who's outside protesting before the fixed date is simply chasing clout and doing eye service. If Nigerians agree on August 1st, respect yourself. There's strength in numbers. No one gets an applause for being too forward.
My brother, maybe you're not looking for applause.
Okay. This is the most sharp move I've seen. Make I finish my med by tomorrow. We mount.
As I see with their life, they protest.
Attention seeker, now only you waka come. So mixed reactions, mixed reactions.
Look, I'm not even going to. This is not the time for Instagram upcoming celebrities to start bashing each other.
No, right? It's not.
Whether you're protesting now or tomorrow or when, like we said, now who the shoe
they pain.
I know. Fine, the protest was slated for a particular day, and what if someone comes and says, okay, this is too much? You cannot tell a market woman, for example, when to complain about pricing.
No, you
because
can't.
she's seeing the prices go up every day. You can't say, okay, wait for 1st of August
I said
talking
6,400 per kilo.
Speaking of market women,
let me titillate my test buds.
Oh yeah. Speaking of market women, I have there was something that I watched, I think over the weekend. I think we're going to talk about it, but we're going to move on now to another related story. Folashade Tinubu-Ojo, the daughter of President Bola Tinubu and Iyaloja, General of Lagos, has urged market women to advise their children against participating in the planned August 1st protest. In a viral video, Folashade emphasized the progress made by the Lagos state government and warned about the dangers of protests, referencing the destruction caused by the End SARS demonstrations. She also urged that the federal government, led by her father, be given time to prove itself. Let's take a look at the video. All right, while we're waiting for the video to load, what do you guys think? The Iyaloja has spoken.
Reminds me of Sheyi Tinubu. With the wristwatch telling people, calm down, everything will be fine.
And your wristwatch can buy, like, you can pay like 100 kids school fees.
That door. I would say,
all right, I think the video is here. The video is ready,
Actually.
pé kò sí nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ protest. Àfọgbọ́n bàálù jẹ́ ni ẹ wo ìtàn ṣe ní ìtò kọjá ẹ wo gbogbo nǹkan ribiribi tíjọba ṣe tí wọ́n lọ dáná sun ẹ rí pé àwa náà ń bá jà àwa là ń fara wa sẹ́yìn ẹ má jẹ́ kí nítorí pé ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú kan kówó fáwọn kan pé kí wọ́n lọ jà ẹ má jẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ wa kan torí ìbọn kan forí jóná kí wọ́n wá Shoprite tó wà ládé nínú Ògúnsànyà èyí tó wà ní Ṣàngótẹ̀dó tó wà ní Lẹ́kí àwọn ọlọ́jà tí wọ́n fara kọ́ ń bẹ̀ ṣé wọ́n ti dìde padà. Àwọn ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run ẹ jẹ́ ká bára wa sọ̀rọ̀ ká bá àwọn ọmọ wa sọ̀rọ̀. There is nothing like a protest in Lagos State because the government of Lagos State is making us proud.
Can I just say the gaslighting is
just first off your earring.
Premium.
Less of the
you know what stuck out to me when she just said that. So one of the things she said was, you know, so she said the protest is like a stylish way of destroying the country.
That's
and then
what
she said, and then she said, look at what happened the last time, referring to NSAS. And she said, the good things that the government did, the protesters just, you know, what's the word now? Yeah, with fire, like set fire to it and burnt it. But nowhere in that statement did she say people lost their lives. Nowhere in that statement did she say people lost their property because of the protest. So
people are still in
jail.
jail.
It's like she's making it look like it's a propaganda against the government.
And that's the problem. I was just saying before you started talking, Blessings, we're being gaslit out the wazoo, and that's what is annoying people. You're telling someone, you don't have the injury that you have, but I'm seeing it, I'm bleeding, I'm dying, and you're telling me, no, you're not dying, oh, just go to sleep. You can't do that to people. They can only take so much.
I think it's safe to say they're living in a world of their own, and because, you know, since the apple doesn't really fall far from the tree, you are near the tree. You are near the tree, so you benefit from the shade the apple is giving and all the other benefits, you know, from that apple tree. Having said that, I'm thinking, she says there's no, Lagos state government is doing so much.
Yeah, and Lagosians are happy with the government. Wondering,
first of all, I see that's something media, you know, I'm like, okay, so listen, it's just not making sense. Let's call it what it is. It's not making sense. You can't go there and then you hear people agreeing with her. What's wrong with us? But they have to, because the optics, so they have to agree with her. You have the yes men around you who still sort of benefit.
Everybody there is benefit. So you know what irks me? The fact that when they want to give this statement, they surround themselves with people who are benefiting from them, the yes men, people who don't see the suffering that others are seeing. And so the echo that you're hearing is, oh yes, right on. But from who? It's not from the people. No. That is not the majority being represented. It's the people who are benefiting from it.
I think you should be more sensitive to what the people are going through. You don't just come and say that...
I mean, the market women that she represents, they know what's going on.
Because, you know, are you threatening? Because you're silently saying, you know, why you're not saying that people lost their life. You're reminding them, you know, what happened at NSAS, and you're silently...
Do you know what, Kat, I don't want to talk about that.
So
so many people are emotionally scarred by what happened at NSAS. Yes. So many people. And, you know... emphasizing on that is almost like you're pouring salt in the wound, and you're reminding people, like, listen, bad stuff happened then. What's going to stop happening now? You don't want that is what I have a problem with.
And it's not as if you've come out and said, you know what, I'm bringing 100 bags of. Let them see you and say,
protest will happen.
Yaloja gave us this, gave us that, gave us. You're not doing any of that. You're not doing any of that. You're just coming and say, don't leave my Yoruba, but Emma protest, you know, don't protest, don't do this, don't
on what ground?
Giving us the same commandments.
Even the subtle entitlement. Like, if anybody's protesting, it shouldn't be Lagos, because Lagos is enjoying. Proud. Lagos is working.
What do you mean?
We need to do better as a country.
I don't know.
You know what? I was looking at, I was watching, I forget her name, one of the influencers from, I think, BBN or something, and she was talking about power tariffs, and she says, I don't put my lights on anymore. I don't run the ACs anymore. And I can barely pay my power bills every month. This is supposed to be a rich influencer who shouldn't be struggling. She is struggling. Now imagine people who
don't even have the courage to come out and say it.
Yes.
Come out, you have the courage to come out and say it. And it's not only her. We have other members of government, what do you call it, political leaders, appealing that we shouldn't protest. Why are you suddenly coming
Everyone is saying don't protest?
If you say we shouldn't protest, what are you giving the people? Or what are you telling? What are you saying? People have, the citizens have trusted you for so long. You've said so many things. We've listened to you. You're saying, give us more time. Oh, he needs more time. And, oh, let it enter first 3 years. Whether we like it or not, which day did we sit down and realize that?
Survive for 3 years.
1 year already. And some people are dying. There was a woman that, you know, in the market you hear a lot of conversation. One woman said her neighbor, a pregnant woman was her neighbor, and she died.
Oh, no.
What killed the pregnant woman? They say it was hunger.
Oh, no.
Hunger. That killed the pregnant woman. She died with the baby in her.
Do you know how hungry you have to be to die of hunger, by the way? The human body will do everything it can to survive. Your brain will shut down critical functions just to keep you alive. If you die from hunger, then you are hungry.
Don't you get? So these are people who are hungry. They cannot feed the families. School fees are increasing by the day. Tertiary institutions, secondary schools, because with everything that's skyrocketing in terms of price, everything else, it's a ricochet effect. It just keeps going. And then you come out and say people should not protest. That's every citizen's right to peaceful protest.
We also hear now that the Inspector General of Police has issued a guideline for the planned protest, and he says one of the requirements is that the protesters will provide details of their proposed routes, assembling point, duration of the protest, the names and contacts of protest leaders and organizers, and so on. Let me not even, it's too ridiculous.
People ask about this on the radio this morning.
Ask for our blood group, ask for our genotype, just ask us everything you need to.
Because I think Showa was on the radio this morning, we were talking about this exact thing, and he said, no, you have no right to ask for the names and the details of the people that are heading the protest.
Which system of government are we running again? Is this socialism?
Socialism is like a communist, a communist system.
I don't understand.
If anything, I'm very sure that people have learned from the NSAS protest, and I'm sure that if anything, this is not the time to let your guards down.
Absolutely.
Because we're still seeing the ricochet effect of the NSAS protest, right? We even talked about, okay, fine, they announced the compensation the courts give on. What is the guarantee that these people will get the compensation? What is the guarantee that? Because some people are still in hiding.
Some people are still in prison.
Yeah.
Talking about hiding, some people are still in prison.
So if you're looking at all of that, you're saying that's fine. You're using that, and because we know how much we put in, how many lives were lost in the process of NSAS, and you're using that as a silent...
scare tactic.
That's the thing.
It's a scare tactic.
And don't use that to remind, because Nigerians, I think we've just awakened, it was like an epiphany hit us at the same time. And then we're seeing that, okay, so we can do it. And so with the political leaders intervening and trying to halt or trying to stop the process, you're saying, is this something that we don't know?
And it's coming from all angles.
And it's coming from all angles. It's not just Lagos.
Yeah.
Abuja is also in as much as it's a conversation that will always be ongoing until the protest starts. During the protest, we hope that we'll be able to, catch you up on everything that will be happening during this protest.
All right, we go on a short break. We're still talking about some of the big stories that are making rounds or making headlines, across the country, across the world, basically. So we'll go on a short break, and when we come back, Catch Up Monday continues here on Jasiri, so stay tuned. All right, welcome back. If you're on the go and don't want to miss our live episodes, well, a new Central TV is what you should look out for on all social media platforms. Follow us and watch us live. Now, the hashtag Jasiri would also make sure that we see all your feedback. Ladies, another question. I mean, I would have loved for us to talk about the burning issue, and probably would get time to go back to that. But here's a question that I think I found something interesting, and I want to ask the question. Do you think that diasporan parents should raise their children to prioritize the country they were born and raised in, unless they choose otherwise?
Ooh, this question feels like
English is plenty.
like a two-edged sword. So, diasporan parents doesn't necessarily mean that the children were born in Africa or in Nigeria. The children could have been born in the country that their parent lives in.
Yes.
So you see, if you're asking this question, are you saying the country of their origin or where they were born?
So whether or not they were born in
Nigeria,
in the country of their origin, I'm asking whether the parents should maybe enforce it that whether or not you were born in Nigeria, prioritize Nigeria over the country that you're living in.
I think to answer that question, you need to ask if the parents themselves prioritize the country that they were in. Let's be honest. We're talking just now about people. One of the basic problems we have in Nigeria is that we don't care about this country. Nigeria is like a beautiful child that has been neglected and it's been left with like snot running down the nose and flies. It's a beautiful, good place, but it's not taken care of. So for you to instill something in your child, you first have to possess it. Now, I don't know one way or the other if there are any benefits so far being patriotic to Nigeria. So I don't know. I'm struggling to answer the question. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's a complicated, it's a complicated, and then there are many layers to this question. If you asked me, I would say whichever benefits you. aids in your development the most, aids in your growing up, the things that, you know, if there's structure for you where you are, then, and this country is where you resonate well with, it's taking care of you. But because you know that you are Nigerian, for example, there's some home trainings, there's some values that have been embedded in you, and so that will come out to play. So it's going to be a marriage sort of, but predominantly where they're living in, without a doubt. Okay,
so I'll tell you why I asked this question. I asked that because sports journalist Akatugba has criticized ex-Super Eagles player Mikel Obi for advising Nigerian-born footballers abroad not to treat Nigeria as a second option. Now, Mikel Obi in a video called out young players who prioritize representing foreign countries over Nigeria, which is their own home country, stating that Nigeria shouldn't be treated as a backup option. He expressed frustration that these players only consider Nigeria after being overlooked by foreign countries that they initially preferred. Now, here's the video.
Players not representing their African root. Yeah. We've held meetings with these kids, with their parents, and said, listen, you are from Nigeria. Your dad is Nigerian. Your mom is Nigerian. Why don't you present your fatherland, Nigeria? We want to play for England, France, whatever it is. Yeah, yeah. And then they wait. Yes. And then they keep waiting and keep waiting. Yeah. When they get to 25, 26, and they don't get a call-up from England, then they call Nigeria. We shouldn't be treated as second options. We are not second options. You should be proud of your African roots. You should be proud to represent your African country. I want the best players to play in Africa. So you rather make a decision and stand by it. Yeah. If you decide you want to play for England, stick to it. Sit and wait. If you don't get a call up, you don't get a call up. But don't wait until 29, 30, you've passed your best, whatever it is. Then you're, oh, Nigerian FA, I'm ready to play for you.
Wow. Okay. I don't think I've ever heard Mikel speak that passionately. Yeah, that passionately and that for that long. Okay. Yeah. Because Mikel was one of the quiet footballers in Chelsea at the time. Oh. I get...
I'm so sorry. Yeah. You said in where?
Chelsea.
Where?
Chelsea.
Where's Chelsea?
Chelsea's in London.
Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, that was a trap.
Keep going.
Chelsea is in London.
Yeah, so I'm surprised that he's saying... in glass houses.
I'm surprised he's saying this because I think there was a time where he, you know, he wasn't really available.
Thank you.
To play for the country.
Thank you.
So, you know, so Nigeria was probably his first option, but they didn't pick him.
So probably he's speaking from experience.
Settled for Chelsea and just settled for all the money that he makes from Chelsea and all the celebrity that he got from. I mean, where did Mikel Obi become popular? It wasn't playing for Nigeria.
Where he became popular.
I don't even know anything about football, and I know that.
Yeah. Okay, I know that he played, for him to be scouted and to be recruited from, yeah, he must have played for in the, you know, because there are scouts everywhere when you play for your national team or your home team, and they pick you and you go to other countries. Now, here's my thing. I'm not saying that don't choose or play for your country, it's a must. Some people... You don't have the bond. You and your country are not bonding that well. You may be, people are not intimate with each other. You may be upset. Yeah, and say, listen, I don't want to play. But I understand, if you don't want to play, then don't play. Don't wait for them not to call you for the country you've lived in, you've naturalized even. So you have nationality, because that's it's a different thing. So you can be nationalized German, nationalized Britain, nationalized anything. Yes. My brother will call you first of all because you have you seen the France team? France team, ils sont tous noirs. They are all blacks in the French team, and it's France. You see the irony of it.
So I understand perfectly where he's coming from. But then again, right, this is a question that we always get to ask. Does your country, would it pay off at the end, right? When you, because it's like you're giving advice from outside the box. You've tried being inside the box and it didn't work. So you went outside and then you're telling us to stay in the box, you know, and then
from a position of privilege. And
so it's if it were to be other countries, right? It's just like saying I travel, you know, as a citizen of this country, and then I go somewhere, and God forbid something happens, I get kidnapped. Do you think that this country cares?
Oh, you're gone.
Okay,
let me they will sing the national anthem for me. You know,
let me even take it to. Let's move from Nigeria to our fellow neighbor Cameroon. Now, everybody knows that Kylian Mbappe is Cameroonian, but his mom is Algerian. Okay. Now, he has chosen France as his where he's from, nationality. Now, choosing France, if France picks you to play or France doesn't pick you to play, ça ne le gêne pas. It does not affect him because he's chosen that. Cameroon calls him to play, he might decide where, I don't want to play there. It doesn't mean that he feels too big. It may just mean that, like Blessing said, do it work for me? It doesn't work for me, so I don't want to play for Cameroon because it doesn't work for me. I don't really know the people. I don't like the politics. You know,
and I think it's even quite hypocritical, right? Coming back to the question, if you're saying that people need to prioritize their country of origin over where they were born and where they grew up, it's quite hypocritical. Yeah. We talked about the South African beauty queen here, who was born in South Africa, raised in South Africa. It's only the name that would even give you a hint that, okay, she's Nigerian, and then they're saying that she's not qualified to you know, so it's like you're saying that I was born somewhere, I was raised somewhere. That's, you know, the same thing we say about parenthood, that your parents is not just the biological thing, it's someone who raised you, someone who was there to nurture you. So you're now saying that I was born here, I was raised here, but there's somewhere that I should be representing more.
I should be loyal to. Why? Why am I swearing fealty to a place that I have no bonds with?
I mean, Akatugba argues that no footballer born in Europe who is good enough to play for a European country will choose an African country first. Perhaps one or two might, but for the majority, he uses the example of Noah Atobolo, a German goalkeeper with a Nigerian father, who would only choose Nigeria if all opportunities to play for Germany disappeared. Now, that's it. The Nigerian national team coach acknowledges reality. He would choose that, like we said, which anyone would do, select the available option when the preferred one isn't available. He says, I know some will call me foolish for this, but I'm used to dealing with hypocrites. So do you agree with his perspective on African sportsmen allegiance? Listen, guys, for me, if it's, here are some reactions. A very valid point, also due to the nepotism and unwarranted corruption in our FA, many players choose to play for the team that sees and appreciates their value. We don't like that. And we've said it here as well. We talked about it. Blessings raised the point and said, which would...
What benefits you more?
Which will come from me? Which, if I position myself strategically, which would pay me more? Like Mikel said, they should stick with that country. Nobody's arguing with you about them prioritizing wherever they were born or raised. You can't be shouting Giants of Africa up and down just to be a long-term rebound option when their prioritized nation lets them down. You can support silently, quietly. You understand?
So at the end of the day, right, again, it's not that we're against prioritizing your own country, but the country should prioritize you first,
as well.
Right?
Yeah.
Talking about the football, what is the state of our infrastructure? What is the state of payments for the Nigerian footballers that we have? What
are your benefits, longevity? You can't compare the fees or whatever of the international stars to the Nigerians.
Or Nigeria would be like a CSR, give back.
Yeah.
But for playing for the country would be like, you know, give back. Yes. And then someone highlighted there in their tweet as well, the wahala involved in our FA when to take decisions and do something, coming from an environment where things work and things just move seamlessly, and coming to a place with invisible red tapes, and you're asking yourself, sometimes it's a huge adjustment to make. Some of these players don't even have the patience. They just say, you know what, I'm not doing this. And then homegrown players plus the officials will think, oh, because you have arrived, you're now feeling cool with yourself. No, the person has just readjusted in his expectations, in how he sees himself to be treated. So like you said, is the country prioritizing me that we want me to play for you?
I think it's safe to say that it's high time we started to pipe down on our expectations of people.
Of citizens.
Because the things that, what I see is, you know, they don't care about you until it looks like you're going to be successful, and then they say, oh, you're from here, or don't forget you're from here. You belong to us. It's okay, you know, to be loyal to your country. It's okay to ask for that loyalty because it is necessary. But let's even, you know, forget about the whole being born, being raised there. Look at the brain drain situation, for example. We have doctors who are underpaid. They've complained time and time again. And now they decided, you know what, I'm just going to leave the country because you guys, we can't even afford single Panadol, single paracetamol. We're having issues finding syringe. We've complained over and over again. A doctor died because the what's it called? The escalator stopped working. Something fell on her in the hospital. And then they protested, complained about it. Nothing was done. And then the doctors are like, you know what? Our lives are at risk. Our jobs are at risk. Our future is not safe. I would move. what did the government do? First of all, they threatened them.
Yeah.
As usual.
You cannot do this until everything is complete. This. That didn't work. Then they went, and then they start begging them, okay, come back, let's see what we can do. That didn't work. The next thing they did is to start begging countries not to hire them. How does that make sense? That doesn't in any way make sense. How about you prioritize that sector and work on it so that it can be conducive enough,
beneficial to people?
Yes. And if you go to hospitals across the globe now, I'm not even talking about the US and the Canadas and the across the globe, you will see a Nigerian doctor. All a Nigerian doctor needs are the tools, the right tools to work, to excel, to push himself. And we all know Nigerians work hard. You understand? So if you say you want people to prioritize you as a country in that sector,
then
prioritize
you are going
yourself
to have
as
to
well.
prioritize them.
Let's take a look at also this Cameroonian player, Aso Ekoto, that was playing for Tottenham. It's the same thing. You know, it's not only akin to Nigeria alone. Other African countries suffer that. It's just that the level is just a bit higher for us than them. They choose. Aso Ekoto, if you're playing in London, you say, no, I'm not. Even if you're mixed, I'm not playing for... It's my choice not to play for the country of my origin, of my... It's not by force. I can say I don't want to play. I beg go. I don't want to play.
So, I mean, we understand that Mikel Obi, for example, played for Nigeria at some point, played for the national team, won the silver boot and all. But another situation here is not everybody is that lucky. Not everybody
gets that big break.
That working. You know. So if you're urging people to prioritize their country, then urge the country to also prioritize their people as well, because it's not everybody that would be that lucky, basically. So
you know, you're talking about football. There's this thing I just thought about. A lot of people. There was a time when parents were beating their kids for playing football in the streets. And now you're seeing parents training their kids to go and play. It's not about passion or love anymore. It's about what you're going to get if you succeed. And then telling people to stick themselves in a place where success, you know, is like 50-50.
Make sure you're standing under, it's like going to bed under the shower.
You can't
make sure you're standing under
people.
the shower head so that when the water comes out of the shower,
it touches you. You can't ask that of
directly.
people, not at all, not unless you provide something for them to benefit at the end of the day.
I think before we quickly go, I think Mikel would have learned his lesson. Like, you know how your eye don't open where you did. You've seen that, okay, maybe putting your country where you play is not really beneficial, and you're looking back at it and thinking, maybe I could have done better. So I think it's in that position he's coming out.
Yeah, so I think for him, I think it's just this thing they say, I never get it, by the Nigeria too. I don't know. But, you know, I think that's, you know,
you're about to start us on another tangent, and we love you guys, but we have to go. Okay, we'll be back tomorrow.
We get your point.
Yeah, that's all we can take on the catch-up show today. We hope you've had a wonderful time with us. We've had a great time with you. Remember to stay tuned Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to catch us on Jasiri. We will be bringing you all the trending, thought-provoking, and hot conversations on television.
That's it. No.
From me,